Good evening. Welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Bridget Otu. Thank you very much for joining us. The headlines tonight. Striking Civil Local Government Staff Association serves notice it will boycott this year's May Day celebration as part of effort to drum home concerns. Review panel of the Supreme Court dismisses a review application seeking a reversal of the Apex Court's judgment that the Deputy Speaker of Parliament has a voting right while presiding. Ghana Water Company Limited intensifies campaign against illegal connections as it clamps down on individuals depriving the state millions of cedis. And in news from elsewhere, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres travels to Moscow over the ongoing war with Ukraine. Hello again, and remember we're streaming on Twitter at Metro TV GH. If you're on Facebook, it's at Newsnight and at Metro TV Ghana. Our very first story tonight, and head of the local government services, Dr. Nana Atto-Arthur, has revealed to Metro News that government will commence payments of the neutrality allowance to members of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, beginning October 2022. The sudden change of dates for the implementation of the MOU, he admits, is born out of the prevailing economic conditions, but however, he assures the welfare of public sector workers remains at the heart of government.
Members of CLOGSAG began an indefinite strike on Thursday, April 21, over the non-payment of the neutrality allowance. They argued that, despite an already existing memorandum of understanding with government, payment of the neutrality allowance had not been forthcoming. Though agreeing in principle to pay the allowance, the head of local government service, Nana Atto-Arthur, says government currently does not have the financial muscle to begin immediate payment, hence pushing the date to the last quarter of 2022.
Looking at the economic challenges all over the world, including Ghana today, although we had signed a memorandum of understanding, we wouldn't be able to honor our side, meaning that the February that we said we're going to implement, we cannot. We are pleading with you closer to understand us, and that what we can do is this, that the last quarter of the year, hopefully the economy would have bounced back, so it will take effect from October 2022. So as you said today, I'm aware that the ministry is really working on the letter. Hopefully, if the letter gets to controller today, copy closer will call off the strike.
He also described calls by the TUC for the same courtesies to be extended to them as misplaced.
There's no neutrality allowance. So what is TUC asking for? If they have something to ask for, I don't begrudge them. TUC is a labor union, it's an organization representing a lot of trade unions. So TUC can go to a negotiating table with the government. I can't begrudge them. But if it's on neutrality, there's non-starter, because there's not neutrality as you speak.
Nana Atto-Arthur is also calling for a holistic look at the public sector pay structure.
The time has come for us to take a second look at the fair wages salary structure. I think it's important. So I agree with CDD. Let's look at it, holistically. Otherwise, the government says, I've listened to this union, I'm giving them this. Another one comes. If we don't take care, my true government budget overboard.
Now, meanwhile, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana, the CLOGSAG, says it will continue its strike until its demands are fully met by government. The group also hits back at the ongoing criticisms against the requested neutrality allowance.
Justification for any allowance is done at the negotiation table. It's not done in the media. It's done at the negotiation table. That's where we do justification for whatever allowance. And that's according to the labor laws of Ghana. We went to negotiations. The government team was led by the master strategist of the government, Honorable Osafo Maafo, with his personal assistants. We had Finance Ministry there, represented by Abina, the Deputy Minister of Finance, with his technical people. Fair Wages and Salaries Commission were there. They brought two lawyers, plus their technical team. Employment was there. And of course, CLOGSAG was there, led by my good self. Now, so if you people are saying that we have outwitted and played the fast one on them, it's negotiation. Then we should be congratulated for doing a good job. Because that's what negotiation is all about. And mind you, this neutrality allowance is only a minute part of our broader conditions of service. There are more goodies that we've already finished about 80%. We don't do double work. We're going to justify at the negotiating table, and then some people are asking questions. We don't do double work. Me, I don't do double work. If you want to do double work, you can go and do double work. But we don't do double work. We've justified whatever allowances that we've been given at the negotiating table. It's been signed and sealed. Signed and sealed.
Right, and we're staying on this very subject as the Civil and Local Government Staff Association has taken a firm decision to boycott this year's May Day celebration. Now, according to the group, Trade Unions Congress, TUC, has neglected the plight of workers, and that it will take the opportunity to register their displeasure. CLOGSAG will stay away from this year's celebration.
International Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day in most countries, is a day set aside to celebrate the workers' achievements throughout the year. Workers use the day to demand better conditions of service, while governments also use the occasion to thank labor for their service in building the country. However, at a news conference in Accra, Executive Secretary of CLOGSAG, Dr. Isaac Bampoe-Addo, notified its members across the country to stay away from the TUC's planned May Day event, as the association will hold its own private celebration in all 16 regions.
Civil and local government staff of CLOGSAG, Ghana regrets that due to the recent unfortunate developments on the labor front, we are unable to collaborate with the TUC Ghana in the celebration of this year's May Day. The association will independently organize activities in all the 16 regions of the country, not the 10 regions, in commemoration of this important landmark in the annals of workers' struggle.
Isaac Bampoe-Addo described the TUC as a poisonous union that does not work in the interest of Ghanaian workers.
The threat of nationwide strike by the TUC contradicts the 1st March 2020 Kwao Declaration, when some of the sections of the community stated, as referred, the 14, improve coordination between Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Ministry of Finance and all other relevant agencies to determine clearly annual wage baskets allowed for negotiations. This means that there's a limit to the quantum of money for negotiations, and this will be determined by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and then the Ministry of Finance. The declaration was signed by the TUC on the blind side of other unions. the TUC is throwing dust into the eyes of workers. Considering the period for 2023 salary negotiations, and that will be part of 2023 budget statement, these expectations are unattainable or unachievable per the declaration that the TUC signed.
Let's go to the Supreme Court now. And by a 9-member decision, the Supreme Court dismissed a review application brought before it on a judgment okaying a deputy speaker's right to vote while presiding. The court, presided over by Justice Jones Doche, in its ruling said the application for review falls short of the threshold needed to warrant a review.
Justice Abdullahi, a private legal practitioner and plaintiff in the original case, filed for a review of the judgment, which he said constitutes exceptional circumstances that resulted in the miscarriage of justice. In his statement of case, Justice Abdullahi added that there has been a discovery of new and important matter or evidence which, after the exercise of due diligence, was not within the applicant's knowledge or could not be produced by him at the time when the decision was given. But the court on Tuesday, April 26, 2022, dismissed the application. The Supreme Court, in dismissing the review application, said it fell short of the set threshold and had no merit. Speaking to journalists after the court dismissed his application for a review of an earlier ruling that deputy speakers and any member present as a speaker can vote in Parliament, Justice Abdullahi said posterity will be the best judge.
What I didn't want was a situation where posterity would question us as to why we didn't take this small window of opportunity that was available to us to attempt a review for a possible review of the decision of the Supreme Court on the 9th of March. And so once we decided this way, I think posterity will judge us all in a positive light, considering that we did everything that we ought to have done to get the sort of judgment that we needed. But this is what the Supreme Court says, and we all have to abide by that and live together as one nation.
Deputy Attorney General Diana Asunabadapa rebutted the suggestion that no exceptional circumstance has been raised in the new application to warrant a review.
Sure, and clearly beyond the review application, there's no application I can foresee there the plaintiff coming up. And I believe that even at the stage where the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court was invoked, there ought to afford penalty to the matter. But clearly it has been emphasized that there is no case of the plaintiff. The application was clearly unmeritorious, palpably bad and an abuse of the process of the court. And so we are happy that there's some clear, established and practically finally possible.
And Justice Abdullahi joins us on Zoom just to get a bit more understanding of where he is at the moment. Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, Bridget.
So before you went, you said the odds were against you. You get to the Supreme Court and the justices say your application falls short of the threshold needed to warrant a review. And so what would you say to people who say you wasted everybody's time?
I think that would be an unfortunate comment to come from anyone. Clearly, whoever thinks of it from that light did not understand the issues and does not understand how the judiciary works, particularly the Supreme Court, because if you know, you realize that in fact, literally no one for a very long time has even ever won a review application at the Supreme Court. Possibly apart from the AGs, nobody really wins a review application. So, as you rightly said, I had stated categorically that it was a very difficult thing because the odds were indeed against us. However, the fact of it being difficult, should that be a basis to abandon a possible change of the minds of the Supreme Court?
Right.
I do not think that is the right thing to do, because I think that if there is that small amount of opportunity that one can exercise to bring some understanding or sanity or judgment, have a reasonable judgment to bear, I would seriously recommend that that opportunity be taken. And that is exactly what I did in my case. I didn't, as I indicated, want any regret in future that somebody would ask that, why didn't you go for a review, and would not have any answer. As a matter
Right, we'll try and reconnect with Justice Abdullahi. Okay, he's back on Zoom, trying to tell us exactly what he thinks he achieved today by going back to the Supreme Court for a review.
So the point that I was making is that by going for the review, it puts everything completely to its finality, and there cannot be any question in future as to why there was never an attempt to get the Supreme Court to change their mind. This, for me, is very important. The posterity would understand that all of us did everything that we ought to have done. Everybody will know that there was no room left for us to operate, and that is where we are now. At this moment, you can only go to a supernatural, what's it called, national court, for any decision regarding this. Otherwise, this is the end of it. We all have to embrace the decision that has been made, because this is the final word from the Supreme Court, and we just have to move on.
But at the back of your mind, is there like a teeny weeny bit of disappointment in you? Clearly, if you say the odds were against you, it doesn't mean that you're looking to be shot down without being listened to, because you had hoped by saying that if you made a good argument, the justices would listen to you.
Absolutely, and you are 100% correct with that. In my judgment, I thought I had done so well with giving them all the reasons. In fact, I itemized every single position of the law, starting from 1957 all the way to the 1992 Constitution, and giving out every single authority within our laws that I believe that reasonable minds would have come to that conclusion that given the circumstances, we should review the application. However, let's all remember this, that the Supreme Court does not review its decision simply on the basis that you made a good argument.
Right.
Because there are two main issues that the Supreme Court operates with, two main guidelines, that however good your argument may be, they will not want to open a floodgate where people will simply
just be coming in for review.
Exactly. And then the second is that they attempt to ensure that no one through a review comes with an appeal. So these two are serious guiding principles that however good your argument is, in fact, sometimes they will tell you straight in the face that yes, you make a very good case, but however, we are not minded to change our case. If in future something similar comes up, we may probably decide to depart. However, we will not grant the application for review. And that is a very important matter that all of us need to know, because the Supreme Court's position has always been to close that door. So that's why you talk to every lawyer, he will tell you the odds are possibly, you are literally fighting, what's it called? David and Goliath fight.
All right, thank you.
That's the kind of battle you go for if you're going for a review application.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Justice Abdullahi says that we should move on. He's accepted that decision. We're staying with the courts as the Ashaiman Circuit Court has adjourned to a month a treason felony case against Oliver Barker-Vormawor. This was on the prayer of the prosecution, with the reason that it is still gathering evidence to begin its legal banter. Now, according to the state's prosecutors, in a treason felony charge brought against the convener of Fix the Country, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, the prosecution needs a month's adjournment to enable them to gather and file the necessary disclosures to commence the committal proceedings. It was also the case of the Assistant Attorney General, attorney present, that Anastasia Karimo, that the Attorney General's Department had on March 23, 2022, dispatched its advice to the police recommending that Mr. Barker-Vormawor be charged with the offense of treason felony. Granting the plea of prosecution, the presiding judge urged the prosecution to speed up its investigations to allow for the case to proceed. Now, Mr. Barker-Vormawor was arrested on February 11, 2022 at the Kotoka International Airport upon arrival from the United Kingdom, where he's based, and was granted a 2 million Ghana cedi bail with 2 sureties by Tema High Court on March 18, 2022 after spending 35 days in detention. The case has been adjourned to May 31, 2022. Right. And the Ghana Water Company Limited has intensified its campaign against illegal connections, which is depriving the state institutions millions in revenue. Now, on Tuesday, the company's task force embarked on a mass disconnection exercise and a clampdown on individuals who are using dubious means to access water.
Company Limited began clamping down on illegal connections in the Madina and Samampomo in the Northeast District in Accra. An inspection by the Ghana Water Company Limited revealed some water sellers had illegally connected to 13 water pipelines and caused major distribution to water supplies to other areas.
Most of the water sellers in the district where we find ourselves, which we call the Northeast District, we have about 12 of such water sellers. And officially, they have one connection. They applied, we connected only one line to them. But when we went around, we realized some have connected as much as 13.
The regional distribution manager of Accra East Regional Office, Paul Atpanya, stressed it is unacceptable for some unscrupulous persons to continue to consume water through illegal means.
We have templates, we have procedures. The way we handle illegal connections. When we get you, we invite you to the office, we give you a bill. So when we do this, we can tell you from today moving, almost everybody in this area who has water connection should start getting water.
Davi, a water seller, however, denied having knowledge of the illegal activity.
We don't have water, but we always pay our water bills. In such a situation like this, the company should inform us because we work with them. We have not illegally connected our pipelines.
Some residents also shared their sentiment.
I am not sure they have done an illegal connection because the water company officials are always around. So how come they didn't know? They don't listen to our plea.
As for us, we don't know they have connected their pipelines illegally.
And President Akufo-Addo has sent words of comfort to family of former Kenyan President Mwai Kibaki, who passed away last week. He was at the Kenya High Commission on Tuesday to sign the book of condolence in the company of Foreign Minister Shirley Ayoko Botwe. Now, in an interaction with the Kenyan High Commissioner, the president described the former Kenyan president as a statesman deserving of a befitting burial.
Served that country with great dedication for very many years, but importantly, following a very strong foundation in terms of economic growth and, more importantly, constitutionally. I was able to bring us into the new Constitution 2010 that has laid a very firm foundation on the trajectory of development of that country. So the nation is in mourning. We are all deeply touched, but we are praying that the family and friends who have the fortitude to bear the loss, but importantly is to find friends that are standing with us at these very difficult moments. So we truly appreciate the friendship, and I'm aware you have spoken to your brother about this, so really we can only say we are grateful.
It's a sad day for all of us on the continent. This is one of the senior figures, a man who gave so much of his life to the public service of his country. I heard the news. I've made efforts to try and express in person my condolence to President Kenyatta. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, I was able to get him on the phone. But I felt I should come here and formalize the expression of condolence, not only on my own behalf personally, but on behalf of the government and people of Ghana, to the passing of an African statesman of high standing. So that is why we're here. Express to you, his family, and the people of Kenya our deep condolences about what has happened. And hopefully that his departure and exit, I have no doubt, will be decently arranged. Ghana will be represented on the occasion.
That was President Akufo-Addo. We're taking our very first break. We'll be back with some more stories and look at business, sports and entertainment with Esiedu Akumia. We'll be right back. Welcome back to News Night here on Metro Television. And traders at Opera Square in the Central Business District affected by the recent fire outbreak say the fire service personnel who attended to the fire came in with inadequate resources. They're therefore calling on government to retool the Ghana National Fire Service to enable them become effective in the discharge of their duties.
The incident is said to have occurred at about 4 p.m. on Monday. Several shops in the Opera Square building have been gutted by the fire. Items such as bags, shoes and other home appliances have all been burnt to ashes. Some of the traders whose shops have been affected spoke to Metro News about the impact of the fire on their business.
Even last Thursday, we took delivery of new goods. And if it's gutted under fire, what do you think? So as for the quantum, I don't think I have a calculator to calculate the volume now. It's millions of CDs.
There's a lot of water inside the goods, and looking at the things we sell, the electronic appliances we sell, water, it can't stand water and heat.
The traders complained about the inadequate resources brought in by the Ghana National Fire Service to douse the fire, calling on government to retool the service.
The fire service, their equipment, please, the government should look at it for them, their equipment. All the rubbers, all the hoses that they are coming, all the hoses were leaking. So assuming they brought 20 tankers, they've using our 15 because all the 5 are waste.
I would tell the government that it should provide more materials for the fire service so that they can do more. If there's a problem, they can fix it fast. Because if you watch their pipe, there's a lot of leakage in the pipe.
Although the Ghana National Fire Service is yet to come out with the cause of the fire, the traders told Metro News that the fire was caused by some Chinese businessmen in the building.
There's a Chinese company at the top where actually it's a warehouse where they keep their staffs. I think they said when it rains, it enters, the water enters, so they are waiting to seal the ceiling over there. That was the initial plan. So we were there around yesterday, that was around 4:30. Then we saw smoke, fire actually coming out of the building and we were told to evacuate.
General Secretary of the Electronic Appliances and Traders Association of Ghana, George Abbey, whose shop was also affected by the fire, bemoaned the incessant fire outbreaks within the Central Business District.
Prevention, because the buildings are not new buildings. I'm told the Opera building is more than 100 years. Wires have gone bad, new installations have made. Maybe the things are not that quality and all that. So once in a while, there will be sparks and all those things. Yes, prevention. Maybe we will need to have another idea of maybe rewiring all the buildings we are working in with good materials.
He said they will go on to petition government for support for all affected traders.
And the Minister for Interior, Ambrose Dairy, has cautioned the Greater Accra Regional City Response Team to exhibit the highest form of professionalism in the discharge of their duties. And he was speaking on the sidelines of the passing out ceremony of the City Response Team here in Accra.
Since the inception of the Operation Clean Your Frontage initiative, there's been a lot of calls with respect to the sustainability of the program. On April 19, 2022, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey announced the passing out of the region's city response team.
I'm excited to inform you that the first batch of 1,000 able men and women who have undergone a 1-month intensive military training to instill a high level of discipline and job performance in them will be passing out on 26th of April 2022, the next year.
Fast forward, the Regional Coordinating Council and the Ghana Armed Forces organized the passing out ceremony for the first batch of the City Response Team.
With lateral support.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey called on the citizenry to cooperate with the team and help realize the dream of making the region work.
We have cautioned them not to arrogate to themselves powers that they don't have. They have to go there and engage the citizenry, not to bully them or go in a Rambo style, but rather have a nice interaction with them and to educate them about the need for them to keep their immediate environment and their surroundings clean. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, we'll parade them in the strategic areas, the CBD, for all to see that indeed they are ready and poised for work. We'll give them about a day or two to rest, and hopefully by the 1st or 2nd of May, they'll be deployed.
On his part, the Minister for Interior, Ambrose Derry, cautioned the City Response Team to eschew profiteering and power drunkenness in their line of duty.
In the Ghana Police Service, under the new leadership that we have, it's a leadership that is meant to ensure that people don't extort money. That's why you have the IGP stop and interdict police that he sees. So we have a different mindset. We have a collective comprehensive that are going to work with this thing, and we are telling them that we're not going to allow them to extort monies from people. No. And we say if you do so, you shall be dealt with drastically. Not only being dismissed, but the offense that you have committed within the laws of the country, you would be tried. Just like we are trying policemen for breaking the law.
The long-awaited City Response Team, which is set to augment works around the Let's Make Accra Work agenda and Operation Clean Your Frontage, begins work on the 27th of April 2022. This forms part of measures to rid the city or the capital and even the Greater Accra region of filth. Shadrach Odame Ejare, Metro News, Accra.
Right, and the Director General of the Ghana Health Service has disclosed that even though the country is currently experiencing low cases of COVID-19 infections, the service has scaled up vaccination sensitization in the Greater Accra region since it remains the hottest spot among all the regions.
Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar Boaje, giving an update on the coronavirus, mentioned that the country is currently experiencing low numbers of recorded cases of COVID-19.
We have recorded low cases. So the average daily is about less than 20, and we have a weekly average of less than 5 per week. So that tells you that the numbers are quite low. So it was very clear that the protection that the vaccine gives, either from preventing from getting vaccine or getting severe disease, was very clear. So I think our vaccines have helped us so far.
As of Thursday, April 21, Ghana had recorded a total of over 16,000 confirmed cases with 1,445 deaths. According to data from the Ghana Health Service, active cases stand at 43, while total recoveries and discharges are over 150,000. Dr. Patrick Kumar Boaje called on the public to continue practicing the protocols, including wearing of nose mask.
In December, we vaccinated we gave out about 2.9 shots. January, it dropped after the Christmas festivities to about 1.6. In February, we did another hype of campaign. We did about 4.1 million doses in February alone. March was 1.63. There were a series of activities in March, so it dropped. April, we have so far done 959, but remember,
we're taking a very, very short break. When we come back, Winston Taki is on standby with the latest in business. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to a first business story. Ghana has over the years set itself to build a digitalized cash-light economy. According to senior lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, the E-Levy calls for a more informed financial intermediaries.
The
Made in Mobile Money Conference was organized by the University of Ghana Business School in support of the International Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Movement in Ghana. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, Senior Lecturer of the Department of Finance, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, says the government's agenda to build a cashless economy is necessary for an advanced financial sector.
Digitalized economy is where we are heading towards. And if you are looking at the micro level in terms of intermediation, it is these mobile money merchants, agents, and agency banking that presents the most effective tool and channel. With the upcoming e-levy, if these agents, merchants, and the agency banking operators are not educated into the minute details of the e-levy, they are going to have a lot of problem in how they are going to receive it and how they are also going to educate their clients who will come to them for services. So we believe that this particular conference is giving all the players, the banks, the telcos, and the mobile money operators the opportunity to exchange ideas and also to go into some of the practical details of the e-levy and issues that will come up thereafter.
Head of Agency Banking at the Fidelity Bank, Dr. David Autry, admonished customers to be security conscious with their personal data.
In place strong measures. We'll be sending communication on a regular basis to customers to make sure that they keep their data secret. We also have been sending communication to the agents that under no circumstance should they divulge or reveal customer information to any third party at all. Before you leave an agent's point after transaction, make sure that you receive notification, an alert on your phone to ensure that the transactions that you did, whether deposit or withdrawal, you have been notified before you can leave. And also, when you under no circumstance should you send somebody with your ID to go and undertake a transaction at the agent point for you. It is never done. When you do that, it's a criminal offense.
The event provided an opportunity for Momo agents, agency banking operators, and stakeholders to interact on the best ways to improve service provision towards a robust industry development. Now, away from that, tech expert Maximus Ametogbo has dismissed claims that Elon Musk has taken a huge risk by purchasing Twitter, the social media platform that he has frequently criticized. Ametogbo believes the takeover of Twitter by the world's richest man will make the microblogging site more competitive and a huge source of revenue generation based on Musk's reputation as a serial entrepreneur.
The world's richest man's ambitious bid to buy Twitter was initially met with fierce opposition from the tech giant's executives, who eventually accepted a $44 billion takeover. Among the many changes Elon Musk intends to bring to Twitter is delisting the popular social media platform from the stock exchange, a move tech expert Maximus Ametogbo describes as strategic.
That they won't be owned by shareholders, as in the public offer shareholding, but we'll still have owners who invested in the business. So I'm sure Elon Musk is not the only person who is investing his money into it. Right. So just like a privately owned company with directors or owners of the business, not as in using the public offer or the stock market to raise funds for the business.
Ametogbo disagreed with some analysts that former U.S. President Donald Trump, who was banned from the platform in the dying days of his presidency, is likely to return to the social media site if Elon Musk officially takes over.
It's possible his account may be reinstated, but I'm not sure he will come back actively as he used to, because from what I'm hearing, he's one of his consultants, right? One of the guys who work with him said he's not likely to come back to Twitter. So
critics of Musk have argued his purchase of Twitter is a huge gamble which will have negative impact on the world's richest man's finances, a development Ametogbo disagrees with.
Elon will not take such a huge risk without knowing the consequences. He's done that with Tesla, he's done that with SpaceX and the rest. People didn't even believe you could reuse rockets. And he's built a rocket that you could reuse, right?
Right.
He has built all those things. So for me, he has thought about the functionality and then the kind of new features he wants to introduce into the platform to make it more compelling and competitive.
The $44 billion purchase of Twitter by Musk is one of the highest company buys in recent history.
That's all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. Phil Junkoto will be back with sports after this break.
Well, it's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarter, and it's time for sports. Information trickling indicates that Manchester City are leading Real Madrid by 2-1. First half of the semi-final leg tie being played at the Etihad. Let's focus on African football and settle down with West Africa, because Zone B West African champions Ghana are preparing for the tournament, which starts next match in Abuja, and they held a training session match today at the Accra Sports Stadium. They are headed by Karim Zito, who says they are ready.
I'm very, very impressed, not because of the scores, but because of the mentality. I'm now building the mental toughness in them. You see, when we were down, I was happy when we were down. Now, I started to watch them from the way they would come out of the down to the up. And then they did it perfectly. So I'm okay. Gradually, I'm getting what I wanted. We were the previous champions. You are talking to me, you are talking about fear. They have to fear, not me. Luckily, I play Nigeria, and I played Nigeria in the first opening game. I beat them 1-0. Then I played in the finals against Burkina Faso. They had the first goal. I came back and then beat them 2-1. So they rather have to fear me. But one thing is a fact. I know it won't be easy, especially when our senior brothers just topple them down. So they will come all on us to achieve or to make amendments. We are also going to go in very tough and then try to defend that issue.
Well, away from that, let's find out how they're preparing for the 2023 African Games. And as part of it, the LOC has decided to launch a football tournament known as the Salah, hoping to help groom footballers for the tournament.
The purpose of this particular competition is to sensitize Ghanaians and to promote the African Games. And we're also looking forward to identifying talents. And when we identify talents, we'll intend to recommend them to the coaches. We are even going to invite the coaches of the national teams to witness this particular competition. I'm talking about football, because this one is going to be a focus on football. So this one, we want to invite the coaches and the technical people to be there to see if we could identify, or if we can identify any talent well sought to join the national team and play for Ghana come 2023. In addition to epitomizing the values of the Muslim religion, though, like peace, unity, friendliness, it's also in line with the AU's objective of using the games to promote peace, unity, solidarity, development, and all that in Africa.
We've realized that for a time being, let's use the period that we have to see if we can unearth talents so that we can add them to any of our teams to help the nation. So they have invited our brothers and sisters from the...
Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Curtis. Studio is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Phil, for the updates in sports. It's time for entertainment news. The 2022 edition of Salafest has been launched at the Fadama AstroTurf. This year's event is frontlined by multiple award-winning musician Kwame Eugene, who also grew up in the area.
Relaunching Salafest 2022, Chief of New Fadama, Alhaji Redwan Abbas, expressed his excitement that the pandemic had paved way for the festival to be held.
Elders of Fadama and all those concerned, I have the honor and privilege to duly launch the Salah Festival today.
On their parts, Cynthia Kodowu of BTL Marketing Solutions and CEO of 3 Music Awards Sadiq Abubakar explained the rationale behind supporting the relaunch of the festival and what patrons should expect.
This year we have the rare opportunity of coming together, and for us we've partnered to make sure that the Salafest is made grand and then people can actually come together, have a social event. It's also a lifestyle event as well. We're going to have a lot of musicians pass through, and the most important person that's going to be headlining this is Kwame, who you see right by my side here.
Kwame indicated we are ensuring that in terms of all the processes and the preparations that we go, typical as we all know it, as everybody knows us, will be a fantastic event. There's going to be a massive cultural procession part, and then the music performances takes effect.
Multiple award-winning musician Kwame Eugene was revealed as the headline artist for this year's festival and spoke to Metro News about how important it was for him to be part of this year's event.
This is what represents Fadama. This is what holds us down. And this same park, we all played football here. Myself, Sadiq, we all played football here. So coming back to have this initiative for our people is actually something good that's on my heart.
Salafest is set to take place on May 3rd in Fadama and will see performances from headline artist Kwame Eugene and several other musicians amidst other fun activities.
Well, that's it for entertainment news. My name is Esiedua Akumia. Bridget?
Thank you very much, Esiedua. We have international news now. Right, and the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has traveled to Moscow to meet Vladimir Putin in an attempt to put the UN at the heart of Ukrainian mediation efforts. Guterres has faced criticism from Ukraine for not visiting Kiev first and for failing to intervene decisively before Russia invaded on February 24. He's also scheduled to meet the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov before traveling to Ukraine. And some of Zelensky's advisors have said that Guterres has no mandate to talk to Russia on their behalf. For News Night, thank you very much for joining us today. Keep staying with Metro Television. Good evening, Ghana. Will come on. And I. Good evening.